On that cross as Jesus died, the wrath of God was satisfied. For every sin on him was laid. Here in the death of Christ I
Before we drink together, I'd like for you just to bow your head. I want us to just take a moment. You know, at a birthday party, the birthday boy or the birthday girl is the center of attention, and this is a moment like that. Would you just take and put Jesus in the seat of greatest honor in your life? Would you say to him, Lord, thank you for dying on the cross for my sin? Would you say to him, Lord, there's nothing I can do that would even begin to deserve the grace you offered? And would you take a moment to say, Lord, I eagerly wait for that day when I stand before you with thousands, millions of others. Until then, Lord, help me to be a faithful servant, disciple, and missionary for you. This we do in remembrance of him.
There
invite you to take your bulletins out, and there are a couple of flyers in there. One is this morning's notes for the message, and you can just follow along as we walk through that in just a few moments. And I believe Matt mentioned this. If he didn't, there's a flyer in here that I'd like to encourage you. I'd like to ask you to take home and put a magnet on your refrigerator. You know, you've got lots of things on your refrigerator right now, I'm guessing, okay? Put this right where you see it, and every day you can lift up this ministry, this team in prayer. And if you'd like more information with names and some more description, there are more complete packets of information in the lobby that would allow you to pray a little more in an informed way. I just want to encourage you to pray for the team. At the end of this service, we're going to pray, and then we're going to eat chili dogs. So, in that order, we are today beginning with the great, beautiful weather that we have, starting our chili dog Sundays. So we are just periodically serving chili dogs. So the goal is that you hang around and meet a new friend. For $1.50, you can have a well-balanced meal, meat, or what some people call meat, beans in the chili, and maybe some onions too. Those are good for you. And then a healthy soda. So you can't beat that. Well-rounded, balanced meal. And even if you don't like chili, I got an email a couple of months ago when someone found out we were going to do this again. We started last year, and it was such a success. They said, chili dog Sundays are disgusting. And I emailed back and I said, what exactly is disgusting about chili dog Sundays? She says, the dogs, the chili dogs. So we actually are going to improve on what we get today. But anyway, thanks to Celebrate Recovery. They are putting this together today for us, and great ministry that happens here on Monday nights. And so, anyway, take your notes out for this morning. We're beginning a new series, Tough Questions. Now, let me just tell you some of the questions I've received so far. If you have a tough question about God, the Bible, your faith, anything having to do with what you might find in the Bible, send it to me, put it on a card, email it to me. I've got some questions already. Let me read some of the questions that have been sent. Why is the Old Testament so bloody? Was one question. What exactly is the process after death? What happens when a person dies? And what happens to children when they die? Third one, why do you hate gays? We're going to take a week and address that topic. If there is no sadness in heaven, how do we mourn over family who won't be there? Very good question. We'll talk about that. We were told to work hard, achieve, and receive the fruit of your labor. But in the New Testament, it seems like there's this message, go broke for Jesus. And so we'll talk a little bit about the balance there. I've heard once saved, always saved. We'll talk about eternal security and where we believe the Bible teaches on that. Now look at the quote there next to the title. The quote by Lynn Anderson, notice what it says, a faith that is challenged by adversity or tough questions or contemplation is often a stronger faith in the end. There's something today, a movement afoot, a way, a philosophy of thinking that says, when it comes to your faith, put your brain on the shelf. Don't ask any questions. Don't dig any deeper. Because there's this fear that your faith is not based on the truth. God is truth. He owns it. He knows it. And so as a Christian, you should never be afraid of asking tough questions. It can only make you stronger if you allow God to work with you. The Bible speaks to a lot of these topics. It doesn't answer every question we have. But we even heard a scripture this morning where the disciples were doubting. As they gathered around just before Jesus ascended, you'd think that they'd spent 3.5 years with him, they'd seen the resurrection, or that they thought was the resurrection. They still had lingering doubts. Doubts can be used by God to build a strong faith muscle. If you want strong muscles, you have to destroy them. You have to challenge them. You have to test them. And so it is with your faith. There are some neighbors